I'm Lisa from sewinglife.com, and in this video I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to help you with your sewing. Just things to make it easier and better and more fun for you. I hope that you're already subscribed to the channel. If you're not, it would mean a lot to me if you would press the subscribe button now.
So this is a brilliant tip to help you make thin straps. They can be very difficult to turn inside out. If they're very thin, it's difficult to get all the fabric in there to turn. So is get a piece of wool or thread. This is embroidery thread, and that needs to be longer than the length of the strap that you're sewing. Then place the thread inside, right into the corner of the strap that you're going to make, and just do a couple of stitches over backwards and forwards to secure that into place. Just sew your two sides of fabric together all the way down here, and just keep this thread inside in the middle. So this is where the magic happens. Basically all you do now is pull this end, and you might take a little bit of pushing this first bit under. You see it's come out the end. Okay, so you can actually cut the end of this strap off, look. There you go. So you have the very thin strap. So this tip is going to help you keep sewing a straight line. So what you want to do is put your fabric in and put it at the point where you have your normal seam allowance. So for example, here I've got 1 centimetre, and put the tape down right next to it. Okay, so put that down, and then all you're going to do is you're going to sew, and when you sew you're going to make sure that this fabric is butted up against this tape. Now all that this tape does is it makes it more visual for you, and it makes it easier for you to see. There are actually indents on the plate underneath here which you can follow, but this just makes it just much easier for you to see. So the perfectly straight line of stitching. A little tip for when you're cutting it out, just to make cutting out easier, is instead of having to grapple with all of the fabric, I like to just cut it out in a sort of square or a rectangle close to the shape that I'm actually cutting out. Just makes it easier to handle so that you haven't got loads of fabric wafting around. Another tip for cutting out fabrics, so these are fabric, these scissors are actually for cutting out fabric specifically, and can you see they've got a really long blade? So what I would say is when you're cutting out, make sure that you use a large pair of scissors like this rather than a smaller pair, and actually use the whole length of the blade as well. So rather than doing like tiny little things which will give you not as good an edge, use the whole length. You see the whole length of the scissors, just because it gives you a neater cut. This tip's going to help you when you fill a bobbin. So a bobbin has a hole on the top and the bottom, and that is what is used to keep it in position when it's wound. But what we're going to do is use one of those holes, thread the cotton through, keep hold of it, and then put it in position as normal, and keep hold of this thread just for the first few seconds whilst it winds on. And what that does is it allows you to keep that secure so that there's no concern that that is going to unwind or unravel or anything else. It's just a really handy tip. If you're a sewer, this seam ripper will be your best friend. So when I use a seam ripper, what I like to do is I do about every 4 or 5 stitches, sort of keep it with my finger underneath, and I only do it one side, not both sides. I sort of do it on the side as well, just find that it works better on the side. Go all the way down, and then turn over, so about 4 or 5 stitches, probably, yeah, turn it over, and then take that one piece at the back, and that will come off generally in one long piece, and then you just pick the other little bits off. It saves you picking both sides and undoing both sides. You only have to undo one side then.
Really hope that you enjoyed that video and that there was lots of tips and tricks that you didn't know before that will help you with your sewing and make it more enjoyable for you. I'd recommend now that you watch one of the other videos so you can put some of those tips and tricks into action. The one to make the coin purse is a really lovely one. I'd recommend that you go to that one next, and I will see you there. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. I'll see you over in the next tutorial. Bye.